Okay guys, it's Juel. I know I didn't do my video log last week. We had some technical difficulties with the Bear, so this is gonna be a two week video log. So let's get started. See if I can't fit this all into one segment. Gale is the first on our list. He last time you saw him was chasing water through the clouds, trying to trap it in slime blocks. Well, he finally actually caught up with the magic of water, and the magic of water tells him that when it was released from its little prison in the artifact, it basically got the heavier end of the deal. It can't be appeased. It has to kill him. So what Gale does is he calls Juel, makes sure Juel has a Phoenix Down on hand, lets Water kill him, and then gets revived by the Phoenix Down. Water's just kind of like, okay, killed you. I don't have any beef with you. You can go. I'm done. So he decides that the next thing on his list of things to do is he decides he's going to make Davilia not evil because his whole country is just evil. And so, first thing he does is he goes to find why. So he talks with Elric, the High Wizard of his country. He talks to the devil, and basically both of them have the same story, and that's that, like, in like his ancestors had tried to capture light, thinking it would bring good fortune to the country, and by light I mean the magica of light. And if I mentioned this before, I don't know. Back in Jello's story a while ago, light and dark hate being separated. They just absolutely hate it. They only care about not being separated. So they actually somehow managed to catch Light and kidnap him. And Dark basically goes in and says, "You either give me back my brother or I will curse you, if not kill you." And the people thought, we have Light, we're safe. Well, no, doesn't work like that. Dark curses them all to be evil for the rest of eternity and live in poverty. He gets Light while they're all just in so much confusion and chaos, it's only being evil, and they just leave. So Gale goes to Nova and asks Nova if it can track down Light or Dark, and Nova manages to track Light to Central City. So Gale goes there, finds Light and Dark, and starts talking to Dark to try to get him to lift the curse. And Dark is just set on they did it wrong. I don't care how bad it is for them. They deserve it. And Gale keeps trying to somehow bring him around to just trying to get even just a certain amount of time, like just this one generation, and then maybe put it back later if they're bad, if he feels that they still deserve it. But Dark's just set on it. But while Gale is trying to convince him, he fumbles over his words and ends up insulting both Light and Dark. So Light and Dark just get really angry. They both shift into their more powerful forms instead of just kind of looking like little kids. They actually look more like Magica, and they basically take off to go wreck Davilia, because just like to spite Gale because of what he did. They're just kind of like, you want it fixed so bad, fine, we'll just go kill the place. So they go off to wreck it, and what Gale does is he basically tricks them. They go on a rampage, and he basically hides every person in his country in a cave. How he got them all to one giant cave, nobody knows. Actually, he just said hiding place. I just randomly thought it was a cave. But somehow, everybody in his country, yeah, all in that cave. Just cave. But Light and Dark wrecked everything. They act for some reason they think they killed everybody, but whatever. So Gale's just hiding out in the cave once they leave. He's kind of like, okay, I think we're safe. And Dark just lifts the curse because he thinks that they're all dead, so no point in wasting his time leaving the magic there. Um, so what Gale does is he's like starting to lead everybody out. They're already starting to feel kind of like less evil. And Light suddenly drops in at the cave. And Gale's just kind of like, oh crap, here's Light. But Light just goes, no, you got lucky. I understand why you did it. I've calmed down. I can calm my brother down. And my brother would not let you use dark magic if he knew where you were and stuff. He'd just deny it from you. So we're gonna just get this all out of the way right now. So Light calls Dark in. Dark basically understands the situation, understands what he did was wrong, and they basically choose to give Devilia another shot. And Gale's just like, woohoo, totally managed to get the country not evil again. Um, but since the curse is lifted, the country had been named Devilia after the devil, just Devilia. So that was kind of a evil thing. So Gale renames the country to Galia after himself, ironically enough. But meh, it's better than being named after the devil. So he then decides the next thing on his list of things to do is to get the upgrade of wind magic, which is air. Unfortunately, basically the only person who can teach air is Abraham. King Abraham, I think the fourth or sixth of Yisatrak, however say. Yeah. And since Degalia is still allied with Seria, um, basically that puts him not on good terms with King Abraham. So he goes to Juel to see if he can figure out some way in. And the thing is, he takes Alpha and Sara. They're both disguised by Alpha's light magic. They go to Abraham under the alien pretense of wanting to form an alliance with Yisatrak and ditch Seria. But Abraham's just suspicious right off the bat. Um, Gale tries to talk him around to teaching air, but turns out Abraham only teaches air to people in his family, so that makes it even harder. So, Gale's just trying to find some way to get Abraham to teach him air, but it's just not happening. Well, then Rizzle dies, and Abraham is going to be suspicious. He's already a suspicious person, and Rizzle is like handpicked, guards Abraham's second son. They're actually kind of friends, almost close-ish. So, and the cover story was going to be like Rizzle was trying to steal from Gale when he died. So that just wasn't going to fly. So Sara makes a plan that Gale tells Abraham that Sara and Alpha are there and that he didn't know, but now that he does, Abraham can go get them. And so Abraham, he's still rather suspicious, but Gale does manage to talk his way around that suspicion. Guards go and capture Gale and Sara, and so what happens is Gale then contacts Juel to see what does, and Juel talks to Abraham and says that he'll switch spots with Alpha and Sara. He'll be the prisoner so long as they get out. Abraham accepts it, and basically his suspicion of Gale is kind of past. He's still a very suspicious person. Like, if Gale slips up, he's going to be in big trouble, but he agrees to teach Gale air, and that's kind of the most important thing for Gale right now. The second person is going to be Juel, me. Yay! As I just said, I exchanged myself for Sara and Alpha. Alpha seems set on trying to turn around and come get me, but I keep telling him no because I have a plan, believe it or not. Um, but what happens is the reason Abraham agrees to let me be the prisoner without thinking that I'll just bust out, because honestly I could just blast my way out of the prison and just leave, is I agree to get a spirit brand. And what that is if you speak a vow while a spirit brand is like absorbing vows, yeah, it'll take it, make a brand of it, and if you get branded with that, like if you said the vow and you get branded with it, it connects to your soul. You break the vow, your soul is like shattered. You just fall apart. You're basically worse than dead. Um, so I agreed to get a spirit brand, and what I say is that I will not try to escape from the prisons, jails, dungeons, whatever of Issatrack, so long as Alpha and Sara are safely returned to Seria unharmed. All that kind of stuff. And so I get thrown into a dungeon where there's like no sound at all. Sound magic's in place that way you cannot make any kind of sound. You can try snapping your fingers, no sound at all. So it's a bit of a little mini torture in and of itself.